everyone, so I have this brand new video. I have not been able to really scrapbook that much. I don't know, I was just in like this little funk, and it's hard to stand for a long time right now or sit for a long time, so I kind of did this in little pieces throughout the day. But what got me started again was making that cactus. Real quick, just so you know, I'm backing up my photos on this. I'm giving them a little bit of a white outline on the sides, just because they're not as thick as the frames. So I'm just adding that white paper in the background. And it does look different than the cardstock. I could have just left it with nothing and have the cardstock show through, but it's a different texture. So it does look like it's part of the photo. But anyway, what got me out of that funk was making this little cactus. I kind of was inspired by Lisa Fonseca. I'll try and link up her YouTube channel below. But she does a lot of cute little characters with paper piecing, and I was inspired by the these cactus that like have, when the flowers come out, it's like a little ring around the cactus, so it looks like it has a little crown, and I thought it was just so cute. So I watercolored, I used watercolor paper to make this cactus, and then the flowers are just a ribbon, those little mini roses that come in a ribbon. And I added some yellow Nuvo drops in the middle of the flowers, so you can see a little bit of yellow popping through, because that's what the flowers look like. So the botanical gardens where we usually visit have beautiful cacti blooming right now, and that's, you know, I was inspired by that, and I was thinking about it for a few days on how to incorporate that on a layout, and this is what I came up with. So I'm really happy to get back to scrapbooking, get out of that creative block. So I'm just these are just random pictures of us throughout this past month, and here I've added my title. And a little piece of a die cut on the top of that photo there. It was just a piece that I had left over from one of my other layouts, and I went ahead and pulled out a whole bunch of die cuts that I thought would work here. And just the idea was to have all the flowers popping out behind the cactus and behind the photos. And I just used my nail to kind of mark where the flowers are going to show, so that I can cut the part that's going to be covered off and use that somewhere else. That's why you see me running my nail on top of the die cuts. I'm going to do my journaling on this little to-do list. This is from the Page Evans. Either it might be Fancy Free, but I've used all these die cuts and stickers that I'm using on this layout. A lot of them are from Fancy Free, Turn the Page, or Pick Me Up, which is the newest one. So just the colors just matched. That was the reason why I chose them. I believe I also used a couple of stickers from the Maggie Holmes sticker book, and a couple puffy stickers from Chamel. So here my idea is to have this little tag sticking out of here and the little snail on the bottom. And so I'm just trying to figure out how to do my cluster here, and I'm gonna figure out how much of that flower is showing so I can cut off the rest and use it somewhere else, because I want to do some clustering behind some of my photos too. I should mention that title is from Amy Tangerine Thicker Set. It says wonder just because I think that my daughter's sense of wonder, even our sense of wonder as adults, is really heightened in this place because there's just so much nature to see and so many things to discover. Is really interesting, and throughout the year it changes so much that there's always new things to see. Everything has been pretty flat, so now I'm starting to use pop dots like on the snail, and I will also use some pop dots behind some of the flowers and behind the butterflies, just to give everything a little more dimension, because so far everything is paper. See, I'm cutting this tiny flower because I know I can use that on one of my little clusters behind my photos. And this little piece comes in handy right here so that it makes it look a lot fuller. Now it looks like I have tons of layers. I also want to add a little bit of wildlife here, so because we see a lot of different things like lizards and butterflies and all kinds of animals. So my thought was to add some butterflies and even one of those little puffy chameleons from Chamel's new collection box of crayons. My daughter loves to look at the lizards. Here I'm trying to figure out my clusters. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do them like in the corners there or what, but I think I'm going to give it some more space. I'm going to have a little more white space there so that my photos can stand out a little more. I'm going to put this butterfly on pop dots just so that the wings can go over my photo frame and just to add more texture. Now I've run out of the things that I initially pulled out for this layout, so now I have to start looking through what I have here on my desk. And I'm looking for another butterfly. That one, I think the colors just match too much to that flower, so I find this little pink one. And I was actually looking for the die cut too of this little pink moth with gold. That was my favorite when I first got these supplies. I did an unboxing video and I just I loved that little moth and I can't find it. So I know I haven't used it yet. It's gotta be somewhere. So I was looking for that, but I'll settle for this cute butterfly. It's beautiful too. Or maybe that's because I think the one I really liked was a die cut and this was a sticker. But anyway, it's beautiful too. I like it. So I'm putting some phrases on my frames here, so that every frame has a little saying. So the one on the left says "Let the good times roll." The one in the middle says "So fun," and the one on the right says "Always." I have this tiny little moth for up here. Now I have kind of like a visual triangle of my 3 butterflies. And here I'm adding a couple more flower stickers to complete the clusters behind the photos. So now it looks a little bit more fuller and it brings in some of the colors that were missing there. So yes, I like that. Now I'm using this trim from Maggie Holmes and I really like it. I tried to see how it looks tucked into different places, and then I'm just gonna cut like several little pieces. But I realized that it looks kind of off to me. I wasn't sure why until I realized that it's that vine, that little piece sticking out on top. It makes me feel like I need to connect it to something. So then I decide to cut off that top piece of ribbon that's coming out, so that the flower is the only, the leaf is the only thing you see. So here you go. So now that leaf looks more like, okay, that's it, that's the end of the vine. I don't need to connect it to anything. And none of the leaves are touching each other. So I also went ahead and cut off some individual leaves to make the vines a little fuller. And I found that the best way for me to adhere this on my page was with tiny glue dots. So that green dispenser has tiny glue dots, which are 3/16 of an inch, I believe. And so I put that on a few of the leaves, and I left some others without a glue dot, so that it looks a little more free. And I'm much happier with the way the vines look when I fill them up this way. Now I'm just gonna do my journaling. It's our to-do list of things that we kind of look for and see every time we go. I'm adding a date, which is just a month and a year, because it's just random pictures of last month. And here's that little chameleon. So I'll put it there. And I find this puffy sticker of a camera that will bring some more of that bluish teal green color up there to the photos. And I need one more puffy sticker, just because I feel like something's missing, and that heart is just right. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon.